What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Bailey Joe Card Show. We got episode 9 coming your way tonight. Got a lot of great topics, as always. We're going to be talking about how sports are in the talks of coming back. We're going to give you a short little market update on the overall card market. And then we're going to talk about how the soccer card market is serious on the rise. But first, I just wanted to thank everybody who came out last night to our, it was an MLB and NFL break. We packed a 1-of-1 Nate Stanley quarterback. That was honestly insane. I was going crazy. If you haven't seen the stream yet, go check it out. It's on our YouTube right now. And I do want to mention that we are going to have another break this Sunday. This weekend, we're going to do some NBA hoops, and we got a 2019 Topps Chrome Jumbo hobby box. And if we can get enough people interested in that, that would be a crazy time, a lot of fun. 5 guaranteed autos. So
wow.
Yeah.
And we're giving away a Michael Jordan Funko.
Yes. It's going to be it is in the stream will end right before The Last Dance. So when that Michael Jordan Funko, go right into The Last Dance.
Is it a Raz for the Funko? Funko Raz?
Oh. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm sure we'll figure something out, but regardless, Michael Jordan Funko will be involved. So make sure.
Wait. Hey.
There it is right there.
Hey, he's right here.
All right, so I wanted to show you guys this tweet first. So this is Phil Hughes. He's for people watching, you probably know he's one of the bigger names and channels on YouTube for sports cards. He used to pitch in the MLB. He played for the Twins and the Yankees and maybe another team, I believe. But he tweeted out, okay, I've talked to multiple sources and can confirm a June 10th spring training 2, because they already started one, with a July 1 opening day proposal is expected to be on the table soon. Trevor Plouffe had it first. He's just talking about guys that tweeted that. So that's crazy to me.
Wow. June 10th. It's not that fun.
I was talking to Kaylee, and she was saying, I asked her when she thinks sports is going to come back, and she was saying, well, I think that baseball and golf will come back first. I mean, for obvious reasons, but yeah. And then moving on to the NFL, the full schedule is projected to be released next week, and they are reporting that they are going to start the season on time. So to me, wow, that is also interesting. And then
will that make football cards go up, you think?
I feel like the announcement alone for both the MLB and the NFL are enough to push the market up. But just two more sports. The NBA commissioner Adam Silver has come out and said that he is focused 100% on bringing back, like finishing up and crowning a champion. And
no way.
Yeah, he's like that's their only focus right now. And that being said. Wow. They are they're not guaranteeing it, but they're saying that the 2020-2021 season will most likely be pushed back to a December start date. But in my opinion, that's good because a lot of people have been pushing for the NBA season to start in December anyway.
Okay. So, that's way to go, Corona.
I know. And then the last is the French soccer league was canceled completely, which is crazy. But we'll touch on that more later when we start talking about soccer. So with all that being said, what do you guys think, and what are you guys seeing in the market right now?
What do you think, sports investor?
I think I haven't bought too many cars lately, man. I feel like prices are kind of just stabilizing for some, and I mean, again, we talked about it last week, but there's always something out there to buy where you can get a really good deal on and sell again in a month, 3 months, a year, 2-3 years later. But I've been investing in Tom Brady die cuts. I think the die cuts are pretty cool and they're numbered. So I bought a couple other
Tom Brady die cuts.
Yeah, like this one right here. I got this one today.
The card's cut in a way that's it's like stamped and cut out, so it's not a full rectangle. They usually have like.
Dude, I think die cuts are sweet.
I do too. I think they're cool. I got one to 10. I think
old school too.
I think I overpaid for it, It's the same one, but it's yellow and it's out of 10. I paid 207 for it, which is probably too much, but super clean card, and there's only 10 of them. So
So you're just still so hung up on Tom Brady.
I just think his cards compared to the other goats of all the other sports are still very low in comparison to like a LeBron or I'm not saying he's LeBron, but
That's fair. Football cards are fairly low on that scale as well.
exactly that too. Football cards are super low, but I mean compared to Giannis, LeBron, or let's think about a couple big baseball guys that are out there. Like even Acuna Jr. or guys that have been in the league forever. That I don't know. I just feel like his cards are super low.
Who? Oh, Tom Brady in general, his cards are low, or you think the market is low? Because
I think the whole market's low, and I think his especially are low. If you're kind of like investing in like that mid tier, if you're okay with spending $25 plus on every card that you buy, I think Tom Brady's a good buy.
Why do you think?
But that breaks the rule of the rookies only too, which you're kind of
for sure, but
adding a little bit of risk factor there, right?
Right, for sure. But I think football, it's really about your quarterbacks. So
running backs are on the rise a little bit, I've noticed.
Running backs and wide receivers. I think wide receivers are, for sure, either number 2 or number 3. But I don't know. Yeah, what's that graphic like right there?
Why do you think the market is down as a whole? I guess I'm almost 100% exclusively focused on the baseball market, but across the board, the baseball market is definitely not low. It's like almost the highest all of the cards.
That's the most anticipation is for baseball right now, I would think, right? So, but you can't watch it, but you can buy cards. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Joe, let's be honest, man. All the anticipation is for Mosaic, man.
I knew it was coming.
So
in Mosaic, go to the store and get some Mosaic. Like
they're not in stores. You can't find them. Go every day.
So in Heroes for Sales podcast from the other day, he was talking about the top sports as far as sports cards, and like the top markets, and he ranked baseball number 1 and then basketball number 2, which is, I mean, it's pretty true. Like there's most of the collectors are in the baseball market, and
I would say basketball, yeah.
But the basketball market is so much higher because it's a real worldwide thing.
Culture, the culture too.
Yeah, but as far as the amount of volume, it's probably more baseball. Like the amount of people that are involved.
More nostalgia to it too, right? It's like it's been around longer, and
let's think about this too. Like the amount of baseball players there are compared to like the amount of basketball all-stars you have. I mean, there's so many baseball players that play. There's a whole pitching staff. That's what
Heroes for Sale was saying. Like the variety of really good baseball stars is like more vast than basketball. Like there's really only a couple like LeBron and Steph.
Yeah, right. And that's such a small pool, and there's only so many rookie cards. But the pool, I feel like the demand pool for basketball cards are lower than baseball, like you just said. But baseball, man, there's just so many people you can put your money into. It's more conservative, honestly, to buy and sell. Like you're not going to hit a home run, but I mean you can, but there's less home runs out there compared to like.
Do you think there's more older collectors in baseball as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean I feel like when you think of sports cards, like back in the day, you think of baseball cards.
Yeah. But so man, we're so early in this, I think too, man. Like it's just starting.
Back into cards made a good point. He says only 5 on the court versus 9 on the field at a time. I mean, each sport does have its different factors that definitely change the value of each player.
For sure.
So
one quarterback.
Yeah,
Bailey,
I mean,
move that a little bit to your left so we can see the graph. Move that whole thing to your left. Like just the.
You can move your stuff, Ben.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Perfect. All right, so let's jump into talking about the soccer market. Unless there's anything else you guys want to touch on for just the overall market.
Overall, I think I have seen a rise in running backs for football. I think good running back rookie cards in football would be a really good investment right now. Um, I've been buying up Derrick Henry's, Saquon Barkley.
That's what I was thinking.
There's, and like Ben said, the wide receivers are starting to see more popularity. It's a good entry level buy in for autos and things like that too for players that aren't as popular as the quarterbacks. So once the season starts up, if you buy, a Derrick Henry auto or a good,
McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey or something like that, you're going to be able to flip that if you want to flip or keep it for value, long in the long run, I think.
When does the football season start during the year? Cause like I feel like we're in the middle of the football off season. Is that right?
Kind of, yeah. I think
Look it up.
you're right. Yeah.
Wins Detroit Lions first game.
I'm trying to figure out this guy's price. So
Back into cards says we need to contact at Sack Wolves, SACC Wolves. That guy knows his shiz with the soccer, he says.
Okay.
When are you going to get back from this?
So
Ask him if he's learned anything from him.
I got a couple of really good points, actually. I did some research on soccer today, and I found some pretty interesting things. Overall, as a whole, like as popularity in the sport in general in the United States, they polled, what everyone's favorite sport was. It was back in 2018 is what it says here. And it was like 3% of people put soccer. And so in 4 years in 2000, in 4 years in 2018, when it was measured again, it went up to 7%. It actually doubled, which most all the other sports popularity has kind of been not necessarily increasing like that. It's definitely not doubling in size in the United States. So just the overall popularity of soccer, I think with that being a non-USA World Cup year, was kind of interesting to think that, people were seeking out soccer and it wasn't even a World Cup year that USA was participating in. And so 2022 comes around and, USA gets some excitement around the World Cup and has some, or 2000, was it 2000? Yeah.
2018.
Yeah. So we're going to see some excitement. It's going to be, when North America has its World Cup, just imagine what kind of attention we're going to have with soccer cards when that happens. And, you don't have as many big names in soccer as you do in like baseball or basketball. And so you've got this early entry into like rookie cards for super cheap, like Jadon Sancho, who is like just an unheard of rookie who's starting to see popularity behind, Kylian Mbappe's cards, who are just doubling by the week almost. His Topps Chrome and his Prizm rookie cards are they're taking off. And I think that there's just going to be a continuation and interest in the sport in general. And once, the sports card collectors are trying to diversify, what they're collecting, and the market doesn't really have a consistent value to it. There's a lot of variability, so you can find good deals on cards if you're really watching it. And let's see what else we got on here.
I feel like so I don't know how popular sports cards are in Europe, but I don't believe that they've caught on as much as it has in the United States. So once sports cards really I'm assuming that at some point they will start to catch on in Europe.
Yeah.
Like the cards are going to explode once that happens.
Yeah. And so I've been just trying to monitor trends, and because there's some of the rookie cards of like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, these big name players don't have definitive rookie cards. So what you can do is you can start to look at the other brands of cards in sports and see, like the Prizms are popular, obviously, and Prizm Silvers are going to be your top end card, and start comparing those players to like the LeBron James and the Michael Jordans and these other sports, and just look at how low of an entry into those cards it really is compared to those prices. And you've got yourself a much less risk investment into some of these sports cards where I think you just have a lesser entry into the collection world for, a global sport that's eventually going to blow up.
Yeah. So one thing that I took note on that could shift the market is Neymar. It's been reported that he could be being, I don't know, his traded. I don't think it's traded, but more in soccer, it's like sold to Liverpool. So he could be in the British Premier League next year. And people are thinking that he played his last game with PSG since the season got canceled. So, and it's being speculated that he will be sold to Liverpool. And Liverpool is already the best team currently in the Premier League. So, but the only problem with Liverpool is that they kind of have a lot of haters. But, I mean, the true Liverpool fans are just diehards. So,
well, like you mentioned earlier, you need international growth in the hobby for there to be, I think, a significant demand in soccer cards in general. But even from our TikTok page, man, there's always people asking, we can't get those cards here. I think the fact that maybe some of Panini cards aren't internationally shipped, to other countries as much as they are in the U.S. And I think that there's got to be a way past, international shipping and just figuring out how to get those cards in people's hands in Europe. We'll just buy them all and just sell them all to them.
I wonder what shipping. I wonder what shipping would be to ship one to Europe.
I see shipping from Australia, and it's usually it seems like it's like $15 to $20.
I think so too. 12 to 15.
And I mean, for a card that's cost $100 or $200 and you're expecting it to be worth thousands of dollars, that's not going to change someone's perception on buying that card. What I noticed too is there's not a lot of base cards graded as PSA graded in soccer. So what that means is really there's mostly high end PSA graded cards in soccer. So they're a little bit more expensive, but there's really no establishment of the market for base cards, which I think once you start seeing more of those come out, it's gonna drive the price of all of them up. And really, my personal investment right now is in buying lots of base cards of Topps Chrome, of Prizms, of all the rookies and big names in soccer that I can get. And then I think that, I think those PSA graded base cards are really gonna crush it.
Just from playing FIFA for so many years, I know all the players very well, and the last 2 years I really started actually watching the Premier League, so I actually know the players. You watch the Premier League too a lot, don't you?
I watched it more a few years back, but I plan on watching more again. Yeah, I need to get back on schedule with the soccer schedule.
I mean, just looking at how there's way more soccer coverage in the United States than there were even 2-3 years ago. Like, if that's not an indication of how the soccer is evolving in the United States, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a good point made by Back into Cards, which I agree with. So many of these players, they play for a country, and they also play for a specific league, and they represent so many different areas in Europe that you've got technically different rookie cards for every country, every team they've played for, because it's their first year card. Just like how LeBron, his first year card is worth so much money. Imagine how many more people the first year card is worth to a Lionel Messi from Argentina to Spain, or one of these other countries to another country. And I think you have a diversity of value among just individual players that is so huge that, I mean, eventually you'd want to make sure you had, Cristiano cards of Juventus and all these other teams that he's played for. And, I think that's kind of what I'm going for now, is I'm trying to diversify, what are the best branded cards versus Prizm, Donruss rated rookies. And then, do I have these players on each of the first years they played for these teams, kind of thing. And the World Cup cards from Prizm, those are, hot, 2014, 2018. And we're gonna see more of that. It's gonna be fun.
Guys, I think we need to buy some World Cup Prizm cards.
I think we should do a World Cup Prizm box break.
I agree. I would love to do a World Cup Prizm box break. We just gotta get enough people interested.
We got some guys on here that might be interested. Christian Pulisic, yeah, that's a good point. Back into cards. I've been buying up his cards like crazy, and his values have doubled in the last couple months. His Prizms. He played for Chelsea. He played for he plays for the U.S. He's probably the best U.S. player to come through the U.S. in a long time, and he played for Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund. He's got like some of the top teams in the world he's played for, and he's got cards, first-year cards for each of those teams.
Huh.
I did notice on a few of those that you pulled up that you were pulling up both their raw and their PSA 10s that it was pretty close to 3 times the amount that each of those was, like for the raw. So for raw, for 100, the PSA 10 was selling for 3 times.
That's not very high. That's a low entry.
So I don't. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it just depends, man. That's what I wanted to see is if Bailey could pull up Zion's raw versus his.
Wait,
it depends on what card it is.
Neymar one more time, because he was the one where he had PSA 10 and raw.
Mm-hmm.
What is what is the typical? Oh, maybe
that's what I'm saying. I want you to check Zion.
Yeah, but I want to see the price.
Topps is really pushing soccer cards this year. Adam's back. Heroes for Sale's back.
So what were you saying about? So soccer. You said the soccer cards were typically there were 3 times. I can't find it. So 3 times as much. But what is a typical card? Like a bit.
I was gonna look. That's what I was gonna look. I mean,
Zion's like 5 to 10 times higher, man. His go way up.
I don't know, man. Like go green.
We just talked about it on the last episode.
It just depends, man. Like his silver, I don't think is that much higher.
Isn't his silver PSA 10 like $2,000 or $3,000?
Don't do.
Oh, I was doing optic. Okay.
Raw and PSA 10. I guess this is 3.
So it's currently 4 times.
4 times. Okay. All right. Go to his base. See what his base is.
What are you comparing right now?
PSA 10 versus raw. You should take out his green, but whatever.
$166 raw.
Okay, and what's his raw? His base is raw.
PSA 10 600. That's over 5 times. 5.
And what's his raw PSA 10?
It's 612 versus 160.
There's not enough graded base cards in the soccer market to drive up the price of the PSA 10 cards of the soccer market.
That's a good point. So it's hard to say until more get graded.
That's why people aren't buying them and grading them. The tension's not there yet. It's just happening. I think people are just buying raw cards, and over the next year or so, you'll probably see an influx in base cards being graded, and I think that's going to push the PSA 10 cards, the higher value cards up. Panini just released the Immaculate and the trebles, like the high end cards for soccer. I think they're really gonna push it, and they're planning a marketing strategy around the World Cup too. You know what I mean? It's I'm sure they are.
Oh yeah, 2022, right?
Yeah, but 2026 is in North America though.
Oh, man.
All right, go to Roger Clemens.
14 that they weren't in the.
Why Roger Clemens? Which one?
Topps. Yep, Topps.
He doesn't have his raw, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. So his raw card, if you look it up on eBay, I bet you can get a raw card for like $5.
That's insane, but they're impossible to grade.
Heroes for Sale thinks that PSA has been more lenient on grading soccer cards, which is super interesting.
What years? Because like if it's Optic or Prism, I mean, yeah, you should have like a 66% chance usually.
66% chance of what?
Maybe. Yeah, I bet it's 50-50.
For what?
I'll look it up right now.
50-50 for what?
Like an Optic or Prism. I mean, what did he grade?
We're talking about soccer cards.
I know, like which one? Like
I found 3 places where.
And what year was it? Like that's I don't know.
I don't think you understand what he's saying. He's just saying that PSA is being more lenient on soccer cards.
Right, and they're not that like soccer cards aren't that old. So if it's like a 2015 Messi, 2016 Optic Messi, Optics, and in the year 2015, 16, 17, I bet they're like 50-50 chance to get a PSA 10. I would say.
Huh.
But like a Roger Clemens, obviously, like you have like a 4% chance. Like that's it.
That was like 30 years ago, though, wasn't it?
No, yeah, maybe 85. Yep.
Well, that any card 30 years old has a lesser chance of becoming a PSA 10 than a card that's just 5 years old. I mean,
Right, but it's still you still have like a 60% chance, 50-60. That's pretty high. So
overall, I bet Panini's or PSA's got some ground to cover, so they're probably gonna be a little bit more lenient on everyone just to try and get some more people to send in cards. I mean, they've also got competitors that were accepting, submissions during this whole time. That they've got some ground to cover.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk a whole podcast on grading companies.
I don't think they need anybody else to send them cards though.
That is true.
They're kind of making their brand and market a high end. Like I'm only grading high end stuff. I'm not grading like they're not even taking anything under $100 right now.
I heard they opened it up to everything again.
Did they? Were they?
That's what I heard. I saw on someone's TikTok today. Actually, they were talking about it. I don't know if it's true.
I might have seen that too.
Okay, I have like 1,000 cards I need to send in. So
Back Into Cards says that he goes, prove me wrong that U.S. women's soccer cards are going to be super popular. Right. He's so right.
I know. I agree. Every time I see some of those, I'm like, I want to buy them.
Buy them.
I know, man.
That's
Alex
crazy.
Morgan, give me 6 of those.
Well,
But for real though, some of the rookie, like the autos that you can buy in soccer are stupidly cheap. If you're comparing autos to other sports, it's insane how cheap you can find autos in soccer. Which you would think as if Europeans and if the world were to be excited about sports cards, it would be sports cards with autographs on them. I would think.
Oh yeah.
does TikTok have any questions for us?
What's up, Funky? Heroes for Sale says Mbappe has an 88% gem rate on his 2018 Prizm card, and there are only 73 PSA 10s.
What? So
That's insane.
88% of cards of Mbappe that are sent in have been 10s.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they're only 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah, but the market doesn't have a demand for them yet.
That is crazy.
I know, but like it's just more cost efficient to buy raw cards and have them graded yourself than it is to buy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm not buying PSA 10s. But when the PSA 10 value goes up from the influx of raw cards being graded and coming into the market, my PSA 10s will be worth much more money than the other ones we're selling for,
As long as it keeps going up, man.
It has to. The sport has to go up.
Wow.
Like, it's just got to. I mean, World Cup in North America is going to change soccer forever.
That is true. And as long as the market continues to trend upward and more people get into the hobby, like if in 2026, right?
Yeah.
The US World Cup comes around, that's going to be crazy. But you guys have any final thoughts for this episode?
I think we should see if we can pull for a Prizm soccer break someday.
I agree. I feel like that will definitely be in the works, whether it's this month, next month, or the month after that. We're just gonna keep breaking as long as we can fill these spots. So, but thanks for tuning in to today's episode. This is going to be going live tomorrow, so if you were watching on TikTok, you can rewatch it tomorrow. If you're interested in our breaks, just go to baileyjoecards.com. We're going to be posting up a new NBA break tomorrow at some point. Hopefully by the time this episode is live. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you're new. Super appreciated. We're at about 240 subscribers now, I believe, which is crazy. I feel like last week we were at 140. So, yeah. And make sure to like the video. Follow us on TikTok. We got tons and tons of followers. Lots of great people over there. Great community. Follow us on Twitter. Always communicating there. And Instagram. We're starting to push some photos and videos out over there. So, got lots of places to find us at. But till next time, we'll see you then.
Let's rip. Let's rip. Good luck ripping.
See you guys.